Hi, welcome to Scented Pages. Welcome back to my channel, baby. I am actually really not in a very sing-song type of mood. Like, I know usually I have a little more energy for you, but I have had a week and it's been very annoying and the only thing, well, I'm not going to say the only thing. A lot of good things have helped me get through this week. My mom in particular, she's so awesome. But also reading has helped me so much. And I wrapped up a couple of books. I went to the library. I wanted to show you what I got from the library because I'm really excited about it. So although I've been a little under the weather, well, a lot under the weather. Although I've been, not feeling too well, I still was able to get to the library and get a couple of books help me while I am recovering. So I got some juice in my cup, and the perfume that I have is actually a Curve flanker. You remember Curve from the 90s? So this is Curve Connect. And although I don't dislike Curve, like the original Curve, it's not my favorite. It's not the scent profile that I would keep in my collection. But this, wait till you hear these notes because this is so warm and so okay. You know what this smells like to me? This smells like a spicy version of Love Spell by Victoria's Secret. This smells like if Love Spell had a big sister, it'd be this. This smells really good. But like Curve, if you remember, it's in the 90s, had a really youthful, fresh, more bright scent, which smells good, but it wasn't something that I really want to add to keep in my collection. But I love this. This one right here is a keeper. So let's get into these scents because that smells good. So, okay. Curve is by Liz Claiborne. It was released in 2008. Its main accords are woody, warm, spicy, fruity, citrus, sweet, powdery, vanilla, cinnamon. That's that spiciness that you smell. It's definitely that cinnamon is it stands out. I could see how if you're not real careful with cinnamon, it could get overpowering, but it's not overpowering in this. It definitely is given cinnamon. Cinnamon, patchouli, and balsamic. So those are all the accords and things that I really, really love. So its notes are sandalwood, tangerine, plum, Tahitian vanilla, cinnamon, patchouli, melon, cactus flower, cedar, and saffron. So that's Curve Connect by Liz Claiborne. So when I went to the library, I was really in the mood to lighten up things because, okay, I have finished reading Pet Cemetery and Needful Things by Stephen King. So even though Stephen King is fantasy, I kind of wanted to a little bit something, like I said before, to kind of supplement, with a little bit of, in between me reading him. I finally finished Needful Things and I finally finished Pet Cemetery. So I'll be coming back pretty soon with video reactions to these two books. Also, for my book club this month, we're reading a fantasy book. But look at this. Oh my God, this cover is so beautiful. It's It's called Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowden. I've actually had this in my TBR for a while. That cover, oh my goodness. I cannot wait. So this is about, it says, Simi prayed to the gods once. Now she serves them as Miami Wada, a mermaid. As Mami Wada. I read that wrong. As Mami Wada, a mermaid, collecting the souls of those who die at sea and blessing their journeys back home. But when a living boy is thrown overboard, Simi goes against an ancient decree and does the unthinkable. She saves his life, and punishment awaits those who dare to defy the gods. To protect the other Mamiwata, Simi must journey to the Supreme Creator to make amends. But all is not as it seems. There's the boy she rescued, who knows more than he should. Then there's something shadowing Simi, something that would rather see her fail. And if Simi should fail, she risks not only the fate of all Mamiwata, but also the world as she knows it. So I'm really looking forward to that. That cover is beautiful. It's giving fantasy. It's giving escape. So yay. So what I'm reading currently that I got from the library though is this fantasy. It's called The Longest Autumn. I have only gotten through the first chapter, but I'm really enjoying it. So it's about this girl who is like, I guess I kind of want to say the apprentice. In this book, they're an apprentice. In this book, they're called, she is like the assistant to, they're called a herald. So in this book, a herald is kind of like another word for like an assistant to the gods. So in this universe, the gods, each season is personified by a god. So winter is a woman, and her son is autumn. And autumn is who Tyne, I think you pronounce it Tyne. These fantasy names, that's the only thing that gets me about fantasy is the names. It's spelled Tirne. But she is the assistant to Autumn, and he is the god of Autumn. And he brings in the autumn season. But in the midst of things, they are able to bring in the season by going through a magical mirror. But then the mirror gets broke, and now they're stuck in regular human realm, and it's going to be eternal autumn, which isn't good because there's a lot of death and things in autumn. The leaves die, things die, so it's not good to just be in eternal autumn. I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's The Longest Autumn by Amy Avery, and it says, under the right circumstances, would even a god fall? Tierney, I'm going to pronounce it Tierney, Trne, is one of 4 humans rigorously selected to usher the turn of the seasons into the mortal world. Every year, she escorts the taciturn god Autumn between the godly and the human realms. Autumn's seasonal stay among mortals brings cooler weather, changing leaves, and the harvest of apples and gourds until winter takes its place. This year, the enchanted mirror that separates their worlds shatters after Tierney and Autumn pass through, trapping both of them in the human realm. As the endless autumn stretches on, crops begin to fail, and the threat of starvation looms. Away from the magic of the god's home, Tierney suffers debilitating headaches that return with a vengeance. Worse, Autumn's extended stay in the human realm turns him ever more mortal and vulnerable, stirring a new forbidden attraction to Tierney. While the mortal world scrambles to find a way to reassemble the mirror, Tierney digs into the secrets of high society and finds an unlikely ally or enemy in the enigmatic sorcerer and master of poisons, Sidriel. Thrown into a world of mystery, betrayal, and espionage as she searches for the truth, might Tierney lose her morals, her hard-earned position, and the illicit spark between her and Autumn? That is so cute. That sounds so cute to me. I can't wait. I love how they have personified Autumn. And listen to how they describe him. Listen to how beautiful they describe how he looks. It says, Autumn stands tall and proud, his crown gleaming at his brow. In the noonday sun, the faint shimmer of bronze gleams in his hair. Leaves swirl away from his cloak in a sudden gust of wind. In this moment, he is mighty, unknowable. His power wafts from him like ink spreading in water. Soon, the earth will respond to his presence in the world, plants fading and the air growing chill. There was another little snippet where it really described like how the autumn leaves were falling all around him. Okay, I found the quote. It says, the tension passes and the solemnity of the situation settles once more. Autumn is dignified, impassive. His leafy crown is grander than mine, woven through with vines of beaten gold, its perfect match for his cloak of falling leaves. The ember orange fire in his eyes brighten as they trace my face. That sounds beautiful. So descriptive and warm and cozy, and I can't wait to get into it. Yay! I really wanted to find that quote. Even though I've only read one chapter of it, I had to pause the video for a second so that I can read to you. The first quote was pretty too, but that one really just, oh, when they said this, the cloak of leaves, that sounds so beautiful. So I can't wait to get into that one too. So that's the one that I'm currently reading. So now, let's get into these. So the majority of the haul is fantasy, but I got these 4 books from the last time I was at the library, and I didn't make a video for it because I didn't get a whole lot. But I'm gonna include these 4 old books, and then I'll get into my fantasy haul that I did the other day. So these aren't really fantasy, even though it is some it's Stephen King and Dean Koontz. I like Dean Koontz. He's another really good author that I'm quite into. I've got Devoted by Dean Koontz. And this I know is about a dog. I like a good large print hard copy hardback book. Those are fun to read. I like the way they feel in my hands. But this one says, Woody Bookman this is Devoted by Dean Koontz. It says, Woody Bookman hasn't spoken a word in his 11 years of life. Woody believes a monstrous evil was behind his father's death, and that it now threatens him and his mother. He's not alone in his thoughts, and an unknown ally is listening. Kip is a uniquely gifted dog with a heart as golden as his breed. When he hears the boy who communicates without speaking, Kip knows he needs to find him. Woody's fearless suspicions are taking shape. A man driven by a malicious evil has a depraved plan, and he's coming after Woody and his mother. The reasons are primal. His powers are growing, and he's not alone. Only a force greater than evil can stop what's coming next. Then the other Dean Koontz book that I have is called Phantoms, which I can't find the summary. There's no synopsis for this in this book, unless I'm just missing it somewhere. I don't see it. Honey. Well, I guess just Google it. That's what I did when I was at the library, and it was interesting enough for me to put it in my bag, so I'll get around to it. Then I got Black Boy by Richard White. I've never read a book by him, and I wanted to. I ended up DNFing I Am Not Your Negro from my last haul, But that was because I already watched the documentary, and the book, if you watch the documentary, in my opinion, you the book was just, it's like the same as the book. So I didn't really see a need to read the book. I really wasn't that interested in it, but I did watch the documentary, and that was good. That was interesting. So Black Boy by Richard Wright. Um, I said that to say, like, Richard Wright and James Baldwin kind of remind me of each other with being, those older type of African American authors. Um, and somebody that, I just kind of want to say that I've read them, because it's like not reading Maya Angelou. So I did do James Baldwin. I might have to find me another book by him that's not whatever that one was that I didn't read. Anyway, Black Boy by Richard Wright. This sounds like it's gonna, oh my goodness, I love these kind of books that are written by Black people, or that are about Black people in the South back in the day, and their actual personal accounts of what it was like to live back then. When it exploded onto the literary scene in 1945, Black Boy was both praised and condemned. Orville Prescott of the New York Times wrote, "If such books are written, if enough millions of people read them, maybe someday, in the fullness of time, there will be a greater understanding and a more true democracy." Yet, from 1975 to 1978, Black Boy was banned in schools for obscenity and instigating hatred between the races. Richard Wright's once controversial, now celebrated autobiography measures the raw brutality of the Jim Crow South against the sheer will it took to survive as a Black boy, enduring poverty, hunger, fear, abuse, and hatred while growing up in the woods of Mississippi. Wright lied, stole, and raged at those around him. Whites indifferent, pitying, or cruel, and blacks resentful of anyone trying to rise above their circumstances. Desperate for a different way of life, he made his way north, eventually landing in Chicago, where he forged a new path and began his career as a writer. At the end of Black Boy, Wright sits poised with pencil in hand, determined to hurl words into this darkness and wait for an echo. 75 years later, his words continue to reverberate. To read Black Boy is to stare into the heart of darkness. John Edgar Wideman writes in his foreword, "Not the dark heart Conrad searched for in Congo jungles, but the beating heart I bear." One of the great American memoirs, Wright's account is a poignant record of struggle and endurance, a seminal literary work that illuminates our own time. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Can't wait to get into that one. Then I have Dolores Claiborne, which is going to be my next Stephen King read. I'm going to probably be reading this side by side with The Longest Autumn. So, Dolores Claiborne by Stephen King. When Vera Donovan, one of the wealthiest and most ill-natured residents of Maine's little tall island, dies suddenly in her home, suspicion is immediately cast on her housekeeper and caretaker, Dolores Claiborne. Dolores herself is no stranger to such mistrust, thanks to the local chatter and mysterious circumstances surrounding her abusive husband's death 29 years earlier. But if this is truly to be the day of Dolores Claiborne's reckoning, she has a few things of her own that she'd like to get off her chest. Begins to confess a spirited, intimate, and harrowing tale of the darkest secret hidden within her hard-scrambled existence, revealing above all one woman's unwavering determination to weather the storm of her life with grace and protect the one she loves, no matter what the cost. Can't wait. So now we can get into the fantasy. Like the deep fantasy, honey. because I'm looking so forward to like really getting into and discovering some good fun adult fantasies, because what I would love to do is to restart. I want to rewatch Game of Thrones and then also read the books with it. I'm really interested in reading the Game of Thrones series, the whole series. I have the first book, but I want to make my way through that too. That sounds fun. So now for the fantasy books. And honestly, I really don't know what I'm in for, because when I showed up to the library, I was running really late. I had to take the books back that I had, and I only had like 30 minutes before the library closed. Talk about somebody going rabbit in them library aisles. I was like, just get my bag. Just if it looked remotely good, or if the cover was cute, if the title sounded nice, I just grabbed it. And I was like, whatever I don't want to read, I won't read, but at least I'll have something to, pick from while I'm wanting to read some fantasy. And I really want to get into these covers. The covers of these books are gorgeous. That's the only thing, however, that gets me about fantasies. Like the title, especially like a lot of the modern day fantasies these days, the titles and the covers are so gripping and will just grab your attention. But then I pick it up and I start to read it, and I'm not as gripped. Now, I was gripped by Game of Thrones. I was definitely gripped by the Game of Thrones series. So I'm hoping that the books will snatch my edges as well as the series did. Starting off with fantasy, I got Song of the Huntress by Lucy Holland. Oh, look at the cover. That is beautiful. I love the colors on the cover. It's like green and gold. Song of the Huntress. It says, Britain 60 CE, hoping to save her lover and her land from the Romans. I don't know what I'll use. A bookmark from right here. Hey, cute little kitty cat bookmark. Hold on, let's see. Can you? Nope, can't see it right there. You can see my little pumpkin. I love a pumpkin moment. And here's my bookmark. My little kitty on it. Okay. Song of the Huntress. Hoping to save her lover and her land from the Romans, Herla makes a desperate pact with the otherworld king. She becomes lord of the hunt, and for centuries she rides, reaping wanderers' souls, until the night she meets a woman on a bloody battlefield. A Saxon queen with ice blue eyes. Queen Ethelberg. Well, first of all, how do you pronounce an A and an E that's not separate from each other? You hear my alarm going on? But no, I'm gonna have to Google that. I don't know if you can see it, but what is that? Wait a minute. Okay, it won't focus. Are you gonna focus? No, it's too small. Well, it's an A and an E, and there's no space in between it, and I don't know what to do. So, Aberg of Wessex is a proven fighter, but after a battlefield defeat, she finds her husband's court turning against her. But now the dead kings of Wessex are waking, and King Ine needs Ethel. That's how I'm going to pronounce it, Ethel. More than ever, if he is to master his bloodline's ancient magic in order to survive. When the women's paths cross, Herla knows it's no coincidence. Something dark and dangerous is at the work in the Wessex court. As she and Ethel grow closer, Harla must find her humanity and a way to break the other world king's curse before it's too late. Awesome. Getting through these pretty quickly. Oh, this is another one with a gorgeous cover. See, that's what I had 20 quick minutes, 30, but really I had to stop myself at like 20, 25 minutes so I could get in line to pick out what I saw. Look at how cute and cozy that is with the little light up little cottage. Oh my God, I want to be in a cottage reading books. So cute. It's called The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Yes, Durst, D-U-R-S-T. It says, Kyla has always had trouble dealing with people. Honey, same. Thankfully, as a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, she and her assistant, Kaz, a magically sentient spider plant, have spent the last decade sequestered among the Empire's most precious spellbooks, preserving their magic for the city's elite. When a revolution begins and the library goes up in flames, she and Kaz flee with all the spellbooks they can carry and head to a remote island. Kyla never thought she'd see again, her childhood home. Taking refuge there, Kyla discovers, much to her dismay, a nosy and very handsome neighbor who can't take a hint and keeps showing up day after day to make sure she's fed and to help fix up her new home. In need of income, Kyla identifies something that even the bakery in town doesn't have: jam. With the help of an old recipe book her parents left her and a bit of illegal magic, her cottage garden is soon covered in ripe berries. But magic can do more than make life a little sweeter. So Kyla risks the consequences of using unsanctioned spells and opens the island's first ever and much needed secret spell shop. Like a Hallmark rom-com full of mythical creatures and fueled by cinnamon rolls and magic, the spell shop will heal your heart and feed your soul. Oh, I'm so excited. It sounds so cute. So cute. So, then I got Grady Hendrix. Now, I got The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I really wanted to read this for a while. I've had my eyes on it, so when I saw it at the library, I just grabbed it. I've had my eyes on it on the internet for a while. I read My Best Friend's Exorcism. I think that's by Grady Hendrix. I'm pretty sure it's by him, and that was good. I read that this year. I enjoyed it. So when I saw this, I was like, let me give this one a try. It says, in horror movies, the final girl is the one who's left standing when the credits roll, the one who fought back, defeated the killer, and avenged her friends, the one who emerges bloodied but victorious. But after the sirens fade and the audience moves on, what happens to her? Lynette Tarkington is a real-life final girl who survived a massacre 22 years ago, and it has defined every day of her life since. And she's not alone. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other actual final girls and their therapists in a support group for those who survived the unthinkable, putting their lives back together, piece by piece. That is, until one of the women misses a meeting and Lynette's worst fears are realized. Someone knows about the group and is determined to take their lives apart again, piece by piece. But the thing about these final girls is that they have each other now. And no matter how bad the odds, how dark the night, how sharp the knife, they will never, ever give up. Yum, yum, yum. Fun. Oh, and this one too. This one, I grabbed it because it's kind of giving dark academia, a little like school type of vibe. The last little academic school type of book that I read with Persephone in it. Remember I said Persephone. But with Persephone, I didn't end up reading that one because I didn't like it. So we'll give this one a try. This one is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. It says, Lennon Carter's life is falling apart. She gets a mysterious phone call inviting her to take the entrance exam for Drayton College, a school of magic hidden in a secret pocket of Savannah. Lennon has been chosen because, like everyone else at the school, she has the innate gift of persuasion, the ability to wield her will like a weapon, using it to control others and, in rare cases, matter itself. After passing the test, Lennon begins to learn how to master her devastating and unsettling power. Despite persuasion's heavy toll on her body and mind, she is wholly captivated by her studies, by Drayton's lush, moss-draped campus, and by her brilliant classmates. But even more captivating is her charismatic advisor, Dante, who both intimidates and enthralls her. As Lennon continues in her studies, her control grows and she starts to uncover more about the secret world she has entered into, including the disquieting history of Drayton College. I can't read tonight. She is increasingly disturbed by what she learns, for it seems that the ultimate test is to embrace absolute power without succumbing to corruption. And it's a test she's terrified she's going to fail. This. Ooh, and then this one. Oh, so excited. This next few reading weeks are going to be so juicy. Also, well, I'll elaborate at the end. But I read a Freida McFadden book called The Perfect Son. I read that this week too, and also I've read her other book called The Gift, which was so good. I think when I come back, because I've got some stuff to do tonight, I've got some chores to tend to, but I think that when I get back in here, I'm going to do a video reaction and summary for The Gift. It was awesome. Freida McFadden is my Betty. Okay? So the next book that I have is, I just wanted to mention that before I forgot. But anyway, the next book is The Year of the Witching. Oh, this is another one by Alexis Henderson. Oh, look at this cover. It's beautiful. Look. Oh, she looks so deep and haunting. It's beautiful. She's beautiful. I love it. So it says, in the lands of Bethel, where the prophet's word is law, Emmanuel Moore's very existence is blasphemy. Her mother's union with an outsider of a different race casts her once proud family into disgrace. So Emmanuel does her best to worship the Father, follow holy protocol, and lead a life of submission, devotion, and absolute conformity, like all the other women in the settlement. But a mishap lures her into the forbidden dark wood surrounding Bethel, where the first prophet once chased and killed 4 powerful witches. Their spirits are still lurking there, and they bestow a gift on Emmanuel. The journal of her dead mother, who Emmanuel is shocked to learn once sought sanctuary in the wood. Fascinated by the secrets in the diary, Emmanuel finds herself struggling to understand how her mother could have consorted with the witches. But when she begins to learn grim truths about the church and its history, she realizes the true threat to Bethel is its own darkness. And she starts to understand that if Bethel is to change, it must begin with her. So excited, can't wait. Then we're almost done. We're down to our last 2 books. How long? Okay, I haven't been talking for that long. Wrapping it up soon. Moon of the Turning Leaves by I don't want to mess up this author's name. Wabgeshig, Wabgeshig Rice. Oh, please excuse me. I'll show you his name. I can't pronounce that. I should have looked it up, I guess, before I started recording. But Moon of the Turning Leaves. That's a beautiful title. So it says, for the past 12 years, a community of Anishinaabe. What is going on today? See, it's the fantasy genre. It's the genre. The fantasy genre, to me, has a lot of words and names and stuff that be kind of hard to pronounce and figure out what's going on and saying them. I don't know what the world. It's pronounced it's spelled Anishinaabe. Anishinaabe. I'm going to just say Anish. Okay, for the past 12 years, a community of Anish people have made the Northern Ontario bush their home in the wake of the power failure that brought about societal collapse. Since then, they have survived and thrived the way their ancestors once did, but their natural food resources are dwindling, and the time has come to find a new home. Evan Whitesky volunteers to lead a mission south to explore the possibility of moving back to their original homeland, the land where the birch trees grow by the big water in the Great Lakes region. Accompanied by 5 others, including his daughter, Nangones, an expert archer, Evan begins a journey that will take him to where the Anish were once settled, near the devastated city of Gibson, a land now being reclaimed by nature. But it isn't just the wilderness that poses a threat. They encounter other survivors, those who, like the Anish, live in harmony with the land and those who use violence. That sounds good. Look at the inside. It kind of looks like Native American people. Like maybe they could be taking a little inspiration from the Native American people. I have to do a little bit of research on this book, but it sounds good. And then lastly, Love, Death, and Rare Books by Robert Hellenga. This is pretty. Robert Hellenga. It says, Chaz Johnson and Sons, a venerated rare bookstore in urban Chicago, has been, it's giving Barnes and Nobles. Okay, I'm sorry. Has been a family operation for 3 generations, grandfather, father, and son. But when it comes time for Gabe Johnson to take the reins of the business, the world of books has changed. And the combination of the internet and inner city And the combination of the internet and inner city forces the store to close. But instead of folding his hands, Gabe decides to risk everything he has and reopen the shop, and in a sense restart his life in a small town on the shores of Lake Michigan. Haunted his entire life by an obsession with a former lover, he finds her again, only to be faced with yet another, even more difficult challenge that threatens the well-being of the revival of the bookstore, as well as the fate of his rekindled relationship. It is rare, indeed, to find fiction that is both passionate and erudite. And in his previous books, Robert Hellenga brought us tales of love, learning, and loss. But now, with Love, Death, and Rare Books, he celebrates an industry that has brought us the written word, and his novel is a paean to the independent bookseller. That sounds so cute and cozy and fun, and I cannot wait for somebody to not be in a sing-song mood. I sure been singing and songing a whole lot in this video. But yeah, that's because the books just make me so happy. I'm so excited. I'm looking so forward to it. So that's the end of that. I told you about all 15,000. Let me see. How many books did I talk about? 1, 2, 3, 13 books. I'm sure I'm not going to read them all. I get so many so that, like I said, I have options. I know I'm not going to read. I know I'm not going to like the way that all of them read. So I put some of them in my DNF. A lot of them, actually. So there's that. But hopefully I won't have to DNF too many of these because these all sound delicious. And I am looking so forward to it. So I'm going to wrap this up and get on up out of here. Take care of what I need to take care of. And I will see you all in a few days later on. Have a good one.